Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. So this is the summary for the Deadman turn. I can't remember which episode number it is, but I think it's 30-something. So yeah, we had another very interesting turn. His luck, I'm going to say it's a mix of luck and obviously it's a mix of intelligence. He knew that there were carriers out this way, so it seems he did send some forces outbound way. I suppose this is it. It just seems to have been a bit of a... we seem to have suffered over here. That one's obviously quite clear. It is remarkable, but our naval search just didn't pick up on these threats, and that's the difficult thing here. There's a lot of hindsight 2020, but the issue is we don't know what is out in these waters here until it's on top of us at this moment in time. Which is surprising, because you think with the amount of naval search that was out here, we might have picked up on targets, but we've just not been very lucky so far. The problem was as well, the light cruisers actually did drop on tremendously well here. As you can see that they engaged them during a thunderstorm, during the daytime. So they engaged during the daytime, but the thunderstorm actually reduced the visibility down to 7,000 yards. So it's practically like a night battle, without it being at night. So yes, they were able to close that distance there. So this is a problem. Contact Japanese lookout, spot Allied task force, and they spot us. So I think what happened is we might have just... I don't think he knew we were here. I think he's just quite lucky and just ran into us, really. I mean, we don't have any detection level over us. So I think it genuinely was just obviously pot luck for him, which is kind of annoying on our end. But what can we do? There's not much we can do. Now, I'm going to continue to run this on mission speed. I may change this, but I think this is how I'm going to go here, just to have them all together. But what I'm going to do here is have the Fuso. I find it remarkable regarding Fuso that she wasn't there to intercept, that she wasn't there, and it was up to Yamashiro. Even afterwards, I thought Fuso might have potentially engaged, but she didn't, which is rather surprising. But hey, it is what it is, c'est la vie. And so what I'm going to do then is continue at mission speed. The flotation damage isn't too bad. I don't think I'm going to scuttle her. 72 is tremendous. She's very likely to burn up. So what I've done here is I've taken all the pilots out of the actual aircraft over here. I transferred aircraft off of Hosho. I don't know if they can transfer to Hosho due to the fires. I mean, probably not. So we'll see. It is a bit of a risk. I mean, we would... we're probably going to lose Ryujo at this point in time. She's pretty buggered up there. She's pretty buggered. The issue is that major damage isn't bad. If she could get to a port, if she could get to any sort of landmass, then she'd be okay. To any sort of friendly base, then she'd be good. The issue is, yeah, I think had we had the attack on Singapore go as we planned, we might have been able to start, well, we might have started clearing Singapore mines by now. But the issue is I think we haven't been able to get reinforcements out that way. So we've been dealing, well, I don't know, I suppose we've been using a limited deck, and his deck is one that's actually expanded, due to the fact that obviously he's using the RN. He's done well, he has done very well. I think it's been a lot of luck, and obviously a lot of actual just know-how. But yeah, I think he had a lot of luck this turn. Obviously, I think he was sending them out there to go in interceptors. But it's just really unfortunate that we just didn't pick up on it. Just didn't pick up on it, which is remarkable. So perhaps he's moved at full speed, or perhaps he's just slightly outside our detection range, and then he moves into the detection range. And obviously, as we're moving, so yeah, we'll take it as it comes. And this is it. Lessons to be learned. The mitigated batai is great because it gives us flexibility. But we can survive without the mitigated batai. It does clip our wings ever so slightly, and it's not a small loss. It is a loss. I'm not gonna lie. It is a loss to a good player. I'm gonna hand it to him. But the thing to bear in mind is we've already achieved much, and we will continue. I think it would have been a greater loss had it been at the start of the campaign. Like, had it been down here before we'd taken these actual bases over here, then that could have been a greater loss then, I'd argue. And so, no, it does deprive us of some flexibility. We will have additional light carriers and escort carriers to come and replace these. Not that we could truly replace them, because we won't have the same number, but, well, we'll deal with it. The way I look at it is, it's a shame. It does deprive us of some flexibility, but then again, we will be producing a lot of aircraft. We will be bringing new airframes forward. And the main thing is, well, it's all well and good to be out here, but I don't need to really be out here. I need to have aircraft here to have this area actually defended from the ships out here, essentially. Had this been the Pacific, then I think it would have been a very different story. The Kiddipatai over here is obviously very, very precious to us. What I'm doing here then is having it move back. It's not going to move to this position here exactly. So what I'm going to do then is I'd like to try and stay out of his range, but I also am mindful that I do need to try and keep a presence here. He does have an AOS over here, which is somewhat concerning. It likely is an AOS, but it could be something else. It seems as if he does have his assets down here, so they might be down this way. But I'm a little bit worried about this area and its security. What I'm going to be doing then is, as I do move additional assets back into the area, I just want to make sure that we actually do have the capability to protect that. I'm going to be moving towards the actual fuel as well, so we can refuel. And that will be good there. We know he has detection, but we'll keep moving. He doesn't have detection over us right now, so we'll keep moving for the time being. He could move around to the south, but I don't think that particularly makes much of a difference, really. We know at Taraway that there's nothing much he can do. It's not a big threat to us. And we did see a ship out here as well last time. But yes, it's not like a big threat. There's a little bit of search out here, only a tiny amount of search, just a little bit. But at least that is something. Gonna put van 50-50 actually, I'm glad I looked at that. But yes, there's not a lot of shipping in the Marshals. The amount of shipping has been reduced. I mean, there's a lot of submarines that have been moved out to different bases. We do have subs that will be headed down to Dalagi. We have subs that will be headed to Paramashirojima. We have subs that are going to be heading out to Kopang. As we are reorganizing the actual submarine branch of the Navy, which is quite good. Very fortunate for us, really. So it's going to be a growing one in terms of our power here. I do worry about this construction, these engineers being spotted, but then again I think, well, he's going to know about these things anyway, so we might as well get them in there. They're pretty close. They'll arrive during the night time, and at least then they can unload. If they get hit, they get hit. I don't think he's got much in the area to do something like that, but at least they're very important. I need to get the engineers here to actually make this area formidable sooner rather than later. We need to actually solidify our control here. That one's pretty much a certainty. Now, this one is spotted further out from Lay, so I'm going to have that one instead head to Rabal. The reason being, I think it's a little bit safer that it heads to Rabal. I do need to build up Rabal as well, so we'll go do that. Ultimately, what I want to do then is have these actual assets move to take Port Moresby, which I think we will use the Kidapatine to actually ensure the capture of Port Moresby. If I can take all these bases over here and try to reduce his ability to reach out here, then that's all the better. It does make me wonder, did he anticipate heading down to Australia? And I imagine he must have done, because obviously he did move to this area. If he didn't want to move to this area, he would have looked to have gone back north. Now the question comes down to, how does that affect things? It's going to be different, but it's going to be a rather interesting one. It's going to be an interesting one. If we can try and, I mean this is it is going to be an intriguing one. I do feel like he's going to try and make a play at this area. He knows that we're obviously going to be moving a lot of assets down here. He also knows that if we actually do lock this area down, then that is quite the impediment to him. I feel like what he might attempt to do is try to move around us here, which he could do. He could just move south. Like, he could just be moving south now and refuel and then just move back. He could very well do that. So I feel it's in the best interest for us to just ensure that we have security in this area as much as possible, build this area up, secure Port Moresby while I do have the carriers on station. I just need to get the AKs back down to this area to be able to do that. I could of course move them to Buna, but I think what we need to do is organise an actual amphibious lift there. So what I'm going to do then is actually get some assets heading back down that way. I do have these assets over here. I'm considering having them moved to Niwartok, but I think they're going to be used for wake as I intended to begin with. I do have the aircraft aboard cargo stood down for the time being. There's a little bit of damage aboard cargo. I don't have an auxiliary repair here, however. We do have the auxiliary repair dog, but it's fine. What I'm going to do then is actually have some amphibious shipping sent down towards this area. So what I'll do then is this. I'm going to sort by speed. So we do obviously have these fast ones. We do have some slow ones. These 12 knotters will have to do, these Aidens. The reason why I want these, there's a mix of ships in here in fairness as well. So that gives us 6,075 troop capacity, okay. You are another Aiden, so we'll put you in there, so it's 6,445, which is alright. The reason why I'm getting these guys together is I want to have enough capacity that is relatively low VP. I mean, they're still worth something, don't get me wrong. But it's not the end of the world if they are gone, so that's that. What I could do, because I'm going to be throwing in some slow patrol boats anyway. So what I'll do then is I'll throw in the, oh, did I, boom. Have to form that again. But yeah, things are going to be interesting. It was a bit of a setback last turn, that one is undeniable. But it's nothing that we can't overcome, really. In a lot of ways, this is what we want. This is what makes the game interesting. He is a good player, and he's definitely begun to show that more and more recently. He's been showing it for a long time regarding his USN carriers. But we have seen he's quite deadly regarding the Royal Navy. But then this is the difficulty. We are moving into a unknown area. We are moving into his waters, and that's the thing to bear in mind. Those are his waters, and he's going to defend them. He's going to look after it, and he's going to use it against us. Right, so I'm going to have these ships actually head down to Rabaul. There we go. What I'm doing then, I do have a regiment over here, so we are going to make another play for Wake. This one will be successful. We will have it obviously given carrier support. It does actually wouldn't be that we do not know where his carriers are, but we know that he cannot be up here to Wake in time. We know that we have naval search that can cover the areas around Wake quite nicely, so we can keep tabs on it. I can keep tabs, which is very good. It's actually really quite fortunate. I'm going to increase the amount of search here. There's quite a lot of them there, so it's not too bad. We did lay some mines over here at Wake Island, which is handy as well. Very nice. We're going to be laying some more mines there. But yes, we'll get out there to Wake Island. We're going to have cargo as well as 3 battleships on standby, a heavy cruiser as well. I'm going to have some AKs moving down towards this area as well. So what I can do is actually have a capability to rearm as well, potentially, which would be quite nice. We might have a AK sent to Marcus Island, so we can actually enable rearming from there. But it depends on the distance. If I take a look over here, we can see that's 19 hexes. Well, obviously down here is closer, but this is closer to Japan. So if I take a look over here, we do have the patrol boat. I do have the other patrol boat and escort there. I'm just waiting on the destroyer here and the other patrol boat. And then we'll be able to move them all back to Japan. This is headed back to Japan with those destroyers so they can go and be repaired, which is good news. But yes, things are going well. I mean, this is it. The area where we have been suffering as of late is here. We've suffered where he has the ability to project power. Or to potentially use the unknown against us, really. But this is it. I mean, in the future, what we'll do then is take the lesson and choose a point to just stay within. So it's like over here at Palembang, we see that we would have 21 hexes of naval search range. It probably would be worthwhile in the future to sort of say, right, okay, no further than this line because we can't be guaranteed that we will not run into some danger. So that's something to bear in mind. We are going to be ordering an attack over here at Singapore tomorrow. I feel like it will be successful. There is a decent amount of fatigue, but the disruption has been lowered quite a lot. It is 1,073 AV, potentially a little bit more tomorrow. We do have a headquarters over here at Johor Bahru. This was the attack that was intended to happen, obviously with the crossing with the headquarters in place. And we'll see, we did inflict casualties upon Singapore. We have been bombing their troops as well, so ideally keeping disruption up somewhat. He has been repairing the damage there. As you can see, the airfield damage is at 10. I would send more bombers to actually bomb the ground forces here, but I do not want to run into the potential of him just running fighters in there. Because he could. He could run fighters in there with it only down to 10. So we'll take it with a carefully to take the risk with those guys and see how we go. But ideally we will celebrate the capture of Singapore tomorrow, the 31st of December, which would be very nice. We are going to be ordering an attack over here at Luzon tomorrow, which is going to be great. Ideally that does actually succeed for us. As you can see that we do have 1,479 AV over there. He has ×3 terrain, so it's going to be nasty no matter what, but we'll see how we go. We do have an army command over there, which is great, so that's going to help us out. What I'm going to do is, I considered actually sending 65th, but I'm not. What I'm going to do is actually retain 65th in this position here, send the 2nd Division of the additional artillery. I did consider sending 65th, but I think it's probably worthwhile to make sure Lingayen is actually securely held, as it is quite critical to our supply lines there. I can't really afford that to be lost. And so we will have the 2nd Division elements continue to move down here and join with the 2nd Division over here proper. So we'll see how that goes. So at least we do have some reinforcements on the way. If the, I don't know, it's going to be an interesting one. He looks like he's moving his assets out from Bataan, as we've seen. It will be an intriguing one. It's going to be a hard battle, but it's one of those where we can ultimately win it due to the sheer amount of forces there. And this is it. We have 2 divisions extra than we would historically, so we are quite strong there. There are additional independent regiments, engineer regiments on the way. Like over here, we do have this fellow. So that's another 3 moving in there. I do have another one down here to the south, which is moving in. So that's going to be another 4 independent engineer regiments moving into Luzon. What I'm going to do as well, I was going to have that head to Jolo, but I'm going to have that actually head over here to Legazpi for the time being. The reason being, I want it to be directly within that 9 hex command range. I think what happens is, regarding the 18 hexes, I think within twice the command distance, a unit can choose it as its headquarters if there's not a core headquarters around, but I don't think it contributes to the combat directly, but I'm not super sure. I was going to have it head to Jolo, but what I'm going to do then is have it move over here to Legazpi, just to make sure that we actually do get that benefit. I do want to make sure we have that benefit. And what we'll do then afterwards is obviously have it move down here, which will be worthwhile, I reckon. Now, what I'm going to do then is get these forces moving out. As you can see, they are. So they're moving at cruise speed at this moment in time. What I'll do is have them refuel and read to begin with. Okay. So I'm unloading troops here. What I'm doing is preparing a Jolo to land over here at Tarakan. Though I might wait a little while on that one. We'll have to see about that. They're moving back in there. I do have my battleships in place over here, where the Kishino is. So let's see. Kishino could do with her tender being loaded, so we'll load that tender. There we go. What I might do is just take advantage of this position here and have Kishino load up. I don't need to move the BBs as of this moment in time. They can kind of remain as they are right now. It's going to be an intriguing one. It doesn't seem as if his carriers are moving into this area. They could still do so, so I'm not going to take major risks. What I'm doing here is actually sending this force back over here to actually pick up the regiment as well. Over here, I'm actually loading up a aviation unit and, well, sorry, an aviation unit and an engineer unit there, an airfield engineer unit. And to go ahead and repair Ambon, so we can make Ambon usable for us. We do have assets moving down here to Kopang, which are on their way. So you can see that we do have, where is it? It's here. We do have the AG Araco. We have the Rio de Janeiro, I can't pronounce that, and 2 PVs heading down there as well. And what I'll have to do is get some fuel moved down here to Kopang, but we'll be using Kopang as our submarine base in the near future, which is good. What I'm doing over here then is, let's see, I'm going to set this to follow the amphibious landing force over here. Right, there we go. Have that reaction down to just 2. Right, absolute. Have your float planes set to night, just in case. As we've seen, he's going to go nasty. We don't always know where he is going to be. Right, so they're already following 83, which is that one there. Okay. Set them to absolute. Set that down to 2 as well. There we go. We have some destroyer minesweepers there. So this force is going to be moving south. Now, I don't have aviation troops here as of yet, but we'll be able to move some shortly. And the good news is, once Singapore falls, and once we're able to move that air power elsewhere fully, then I will have a lot that will move down here. What I'm going to do then is actually have these kind of fully freeze. So a couple are going to be running cap. What I'm going to do is just have that on that. There we go. Have the majority resting, in fact. Give them the drop tanks. Then what I'll do then is have them fly LRCAP over there. I could fly from BLeAcHACiD in fairness. Possibly. What's the distance here? 5 hexes. I could potentially just use the Counter 27s in fairness. I do have some kind of freeze over here, actually. Yeah, they'll be available soon. What I'm going to do then is actually have them made available. So fly them to BLeAcHACiD. Okay. Made it alright. That's not a huge deal of fatigue, so I can manage that. I don't need to run cap, which is good, because obviously we do have the Counter 27s there. So what I'll do then is run that 30-70 then. So 70-30. And give them a little bit of a cap, just protect them from BLeAcHACiD directly. Which means they're not going to have to fly as far, which is handy. So what I'll do then is give them some reserves while they are here. There we go. Until the rest of their squadron is available. So what I'll do then is over here is cancel that LRCAP and have that like that. Okay, so there we go. Now, I do have more aircraft available as well, so I can have these fellows moved over. So they're running cap. Okay. What I'll do then is run like that. I don't think there's really a threat in this area at this moment in time, in fact, so we should be alright. There we go. So that's the general gist. We're going to be attacking over here in Singapore. I am moving the troops to the north and to the south, so we'll be able to finish off Malaya. We will have a shock attack over here at Temla next turn as we cross the river over here. Train's not great, but we have beaten up that unit a couple times, and it is 2 regiments, so we should be able to manage it, which will be intriguing. It will be, yeah, it's going to be a few battles tomorrow, in fact. It's going to be a few battles. It's going to be an intriguing one. Indeed. That's not everything in the turn, but that's the majority there. That's a pretty big gist. I'm not quite done with the turn yet, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we're doing, and I will be sending it off likely later tonight or tomorrow, so that's going to be interesting. So until next time, thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.